Once Upon a Time, beziehungsweise es war einmal, und damit herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Ausgabe der Klemmbaustein-Lyrik, nämlich ein Interview mit Christoph Leslie Stamp, der seines Zeichens verantwortlich ist für die Speed Champions und mir im Mai 2019 schon Rede und Antwort stand, insbesondere auch zum Wechsel auf die neue Breite. Und gerade deswegen durfte dieses Interview auch erst jetzt 2020 gezeigt werden. Ich glaube, es ist aber trotzdem immer noch sehr spannend. Viel Spaß. So, next to me is whom you are.
So I am Christopher Stamp, and I am the design lead on LEGO Speed Champions.
How long you are working on Speed Champions?
I've been at LEGO for just under 8 years. I've been on Speed Champions since the beginning, off and on. So I was on the development of it in 2014. I was one of the designers for 2015's first launch. I was a designer on the 2016 launch. I was a designer on the 2017. And then I went off and worked on Ninjago and the Ninjago movie. And then since 2018, yep. So for this launch, the 2019 product, onwards, I've been the design lead. So I've designed a few of the products myself, and also I'm driving the team from a partner perspective and figuring out which products to put in the assortment. So
you are could be that you like cars.
You could say that. Yeah, I like to drive here and there. So
what's your own car? Can you tell us?
Oh, my own car? No, that's embarrassing.
It's not on the table.
No, I don't own a supercar, unfortunately. I have a Vauxhall, or no, it's in Europe it's Opel. Mm-hmm. So I have a Corsa. Okay. Not as flashy as some of these, but
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the special thing about designing cars?
Oh,
especially in this scale. I think it's every time the same scale. Was there? Then you say at the beginning, was there a discussion which scale we take?
Oh, absolutely. That's one of the things we explore quite heavily discuss quite heavily as we go on. I've worked now with a lot of automotive designers because we do work closely with our partners when we do it, especially with the Senna. I worked very closely with Esteban, who designed the real Senna. There's a lot of similarities between the cars, between the jobs, because what you'll find is on the cars, every piece is form follows function, so every piece is there for a reason. Same with the Lego cars. But one of the things when we came to scaling these cars was all to do with the minifigure. So we already have a scale set up around Lego City, Lego Creator, which all revolves around the minifigure, all revolves around the central driving position. And one of the original discussions we took around this product line was, how can these products be compatible with other Lego that you have at home? And that's why we ended up at the scale we did. They're slightly larger than Lego City vehicles, but that was because it's still an IP. We still need to try and capture as many details as possible and really be a true, authentic representation or tribute to the real cars. So that's kind of why we ended up on that scale, all to do with these little guys. So yeah.
When you are working on a new car, you only have photos, or you get, for example, Ferrari gives you for a weekend a car, or you have to go somewhere to a shop and can look, or what are the possibilities, or what's the ground thing you're working on with?
Oh, well, it depends, different partners. So every partner is different, and also it depends on the age of the car. So what you'll see in our assortments is we do some icons, some more older cars, and then we do some brand new, never before seen cars. So certain partners, for example Chevrolet, we did that purely through imagery. We received a die-cast model, which I kind of request from most partners, as well as sending us reference images, sometimes 3D CAD data that we can rotate in the computer. Having that physical die-cast representation in our hands is great, because if you've got a photo, you've got maybe the side view or the front view or the top view, it's quite static. As soon as you've got a model in your hands, the designer can rotate it and play with it and really see it up close. Some partners, well, all partners give us that if it's available. Some partners can't. For example, with the McLaren Senna, it was so new that we had to travel to see it up close, the clay model, still in the workshop, still getting designed. So it wasn't finished, so they didn't have die-cast replicas to share with us. But what we tend to do is we try to keep an open relationship with the partners, so super flexible, so that we have that freedom and we have the possibilities of those opportunities. For example, with Dodge, we went to America, to Detroit, to visit them, to see the Demon up close. That's cool, because then you can also kind of get a sense of the feel of the car. So you can sit inside the car, feel what it's like, see, okay, there's larger wheels on the back, there's smaller wheels on the front. Why is that? Okay, the product also comes with a special kit that's just for drag racing, and all this extra little information that you might not need to know for the model, but maybe you do, because maybe you can build in a little extra detail. So there's not one size fits all, but we try to be flexible enough to work with different partners, whatever's best for them. So yeah.
Is there sometimes a difficulty to really make the individual car? So some parts, I think you have wheels and so on and so on, looks sometimes a little bit similar, because I think it's a car. So how you get as you said, the real feeling of this car and the special things, or is there sometimes you say, no, it's too similar to another car we built, so get over it. It's too difficult to make it really as a special car.
What we try to do is that goes into when we're putting together an assortment. We try to include variety as much as possible to have the building experiences as different as possible. So, for example, we'll include an icon, a stock car, a supercar, a muscle car, another muscle car that's really known for movies and TV shows, a rally car, a Dakar. Every car needs to be very unique and maybe have its own link to racing or its own link to the racing world, because then that justifies that the silhouette tends to be quite different. Maybe the detailing is quite different. So that's the way we put together a variety of vehicles, and then that leads into each being quite different aesthetically. That's something we look at in the development stage. So we don't just talk to, if there's 5 products, we don't just talk to 5 partners and say, these are the 5 partners we want. We'll go through an exploration phase of, okay, what partners are available? Some partners approach us, we approach some partners. Which partners have we worked with before that we would like to work with again, or that we know, okay, we talked to them last year and maybe it wasn't the right timing, but they said they had this really special thing coming this year, so this is going to be perfect. We take a lot of those dialogues, and then what we do is we try to then start putting together a combination across those and seeing, okay, this is perfect because this is different to anything else we've got. Like, for example, the iconic Classic Mini. That's so unique that you could put that with anything and it would be different. Compared to muscle cars, if you're going for a classic Charger, it's probably not an idea to put a classic Charger and a classic Challenger in the same SKU, because from a Lego medium perspective, they're going to be quite similar. They will be built differently, but aesthetically, they're going to be quite similar because of the choice of bricks on the outside. So it's those kind of combinations that we can only discover by exploring, but we won't lock anything in until we've tested it. So every car that we think this could be quite good for us, we'll start mocking it up, doing a few sketch models. Nowhere near as close to the final things that you'll see in the boxes, but we just try to kind of mock things up very, very crudely, just to get a kind of estimate of how is this going to look. Is this the right direction? Is it even achievable? Because we don't want to just pick a brand and say, Ferrari, they've got a new car coming out, we'll do that. Great. We need to basically see the car. Is it achievable in Lego? If it's very, very organic, Lego as being a blocky medium, maybe it's not achievable, or maybe not that it's not achievable, maybe we can't do it justice in Lego form at this scale. Maybe then it's more appropriate for the creator expert or Technic or something where it's a bigger scale for the Lego. But at the minifigure scale, we really need to be kind of cutthroat a little bit on which ones we pick and when, because we don't want to pick a partner and then not do their product the right way. So
Have there been partners who said, without names, is there partners who said no? We do not want our cars in a Lego model.
No, we haven't. We haven't come across any partners like that. What we found is basically every time we approach a partner, they're always very welcoming, because for them it's also an opportunity, because they tend to focus on adults who's buying their cars in a shop who's driving it. Where we focus on kids who maybe one day will buy a car, or who can't buy a car now, so they really want to drive a Dodge Charger, but they're a 12-year-old, they can't, but they can pretend to be the minifigure and drive their own Lego Charger. So the partners we find is quite welcoming, because this is an opportunity for them to be appealing to the kids whose dads constantly talk about their cars. So it's kind of a give and take, but up to now it's been a very, very warm partnership. Okay. So
I think one thing is that is under big discussion every time. It's I think the series with the most stickers and the most small stickers. Perhaps you do not hear this question the first time today. What is there? Will there come a solution in the future that will be different than this? Or have you ever thought about printing parts, for example? So in some times, I've seen not one of these models, but some I built, and a lot of very small, for me as an adult with big fingers, I do not think at the end it looked really like you would like it. So is this a discussion? We ask flat the easy way for what's happening with the stickers.
No, absolutely. I think, well, as you can see, as we move forward into and we evolve into the 8 wide, that is something that came out of 2 questions. One of those has primarily been stickers. So because we go to 8 wide, that'll give you more space to build details rather than sticker details. So there will always be stickers, given the nature of race cars. If you look at a stock car in real life, it is everything stickered, even the headlights. So we won't be able to get away from stickers completely, but that allows kids the rebuildability. Because if we decorate every element, then that element is locked forever with that graphic. Where if you put a sticker and a child doesn't want to place it, they don't need to, and then they can reuse that element in a spaceship or in a house or a tree or whatever build comes to their imagination. But by going to a wider scale, we can build more details, so we don't need to sticker them.
So that's right. That's a wider scale. So that's so we that's the reason this video is only presenting. I think in January. We hope everyone had nice Christmas, and that's interesting. These are the new cars coming in 2020 at the beginning in January, and yeah, they are different. They are bigger. Is there a number of which scale is this and this?
It's not kind of in regards to the real cars. So I know that with a lot of die-cast models, you might get 1:43 or something like that. We start with the Lego brick. So we start with our own scaling, and also to do with the minifigure. So because we can't just keep changing the size of a Lego stud, we have to start with that as our scaling. So what we've done is we've went from the 6 wide to the 8 wide. And as well as because of stickers, that was mainly to do with a lot of consumer feedback, which we do listen to a lot. We do a lot of internal testing with kids and adults, and we do look at online reviews. We read the comments on Lego.com and in magazines and on YouTube videos. One comment that we've always received is the proportions. So previously everybody said they like speed champions, but the proportions are quite thin. They would really appreciate if the proportions were a bit more accurate, maybe the cars were a bit wider. So what we've done is we've listened to that. We've done 5 years of the 6 wide, and we thought, okay, we've done 5 years for this next chapter moving forward. Let's evolve. Now we've got the perfect opportunity to do so. So we've made it 8 wide to correct those proportions, basically. So the cars are larger. The cars now have less stickers because more can be built. They also have the ability now that you can put two minifigures, so you can have a driver and a passenger. If it's rally, you can have a driver and a navigator. Depending on which part of the world you are, you can change the steering wheel from the left to the right. But we're trying to basically make the cars as authentic as possible, and that's one of the main things. Is if we can capture a more authentic scale and proportions, we're also doing a lot more justice to the partners that we're choosing and we're fortunate enough to work with. So there's a lot of reasons why we've evolved to this format.
So this one from August is the last one in the old scale. That's right.
Absolutely. So this is obviously it's an update of the Porsche 911 that we did in 2018 in lime green. And what we found was that was very well received. That was really, really well received from the fans. There was a couple of comments where, I really wish it was an individual car, I could buy it on its own, and things like this. So this is our answer to the fans of, okay, maybe they weren't able to buy it last time, now you can buy it, and now it's on its own. Also, what we've done with this one is we're doing the iconic white version, but we've also included transparent stickers, because maybe you don't want the lime green one, maybe you want a red one or a blue one or a white one. What you can do is you can get this one, and if you don't want it white and you want it in your own color, you can actually use the stickers and change the color into whatever you would like. But it just gives fans the opportunity to buy the car that they liked if they wanted it, and to also buy it, maybe start collecting different colors if that's what they would like. So it's more just about hearing what people has asked for and trying to deliver that. So
this leads me to another question I asked also my community, and one question partly you answered now was also why some cars are in more expensive couples and in sets with some additional things if I only want, for example, the Mini, and others are sold separately. What's the idea behind this decision, and will this be also in the future, or the future cars all come in single packages?
That's a good question. I've never actually been asked that before. What we can say is, so Speed Champions is originally designed to be a playtheme for kids. What we found out as the years have went on is a lot of dads, it was actually, as soon as we launched Speed Champions, we found that a lot of dads are fans as well. A lot of adults buy these and collect them as well. A lot of dads use it as an excuse to get what they want, so they'll really want the F40 and they'll say, I'll buy this for my son because my son will like it, but they really want it themselves. So what we've done with the double packs is we've focused on not just appealing to dads or sons, but trying to create memories for dads with their sons. So we've been doing kind of the new and the old in our double packs, and that's something so that you can get a car for the son, which is the new one, which is the brand new, the fastest out there. But then you also get the icon, which is something that maybe the dad grew up with, maybe is an icon to them. And that gives them an opportunity for a dad to buy this SKU and to build it together with his son. And then maybe they can race each other, and hopefully the dad will let the son win, but you never know. But that's something we've tried to do with a lot. So, for example, with the Mini set, the iconic Mini, most dads have received that quite well. And I know most have said, we would like this on its own. The reason we've teamed that up with the off-road buggy is because this is so appealing to kids, and it's got the suspension, it's quite aggressive, it's got the big tires. That there allows you to basically do the old and the new together, but it does give the opportunity of that bonding, and that is something that's really nice, because what if a kid doesn't know the brands? It still should be appealing to those kids. So a kid might not know that this is a Dodge Demon, but they might think it looks really cool and they think it looks really fast. But the dad might be a huge Dodge fan. This gives the dad the opportunity to buy a SKU that's kind of appealing to him. His son's kind of appealing, but then they can start that dialogue about, this is Dodge. I'm a big fan, and I would like you to be a big fan. And it's all about that creating memories. So.
When I see this, I think that's prototype, or is this foggy? It's a new. Absolutely. It's a new glass.
No, this is absolutely. So these are hot from the designer's desks. So what you can see is
in the end product.
Absolutely, that'll be in the same color as the existing cockpits. That'll be in 111, which is the smoked transparent. but these are super prototypes, so we can even see that even underneath the chassis are prototypes, so they're hot from the designers' desks. They've got preliminary graphics on there where the colours, it's got the right colour positions, but it's not the exact shade that will be on the final product. It's got some spray painted elements, just because this is how we work. This is as fresh as we do it. But then we've also got an element lineup that shows you that we are creating several new elements to make this evolution possible. But also some of the things, so for example, these windscreens, they will be decorated, they will be printed, but these have just got stickers on right now, because that's how we work internally when we're developing the designs. So yeah.
Have you a famous car? What's from the cars you built? Which one is the car you most liked?
It kind of changes, to be honest, every time I think about it. I think one of my favorites was definitely the hot rod that we did in 2016. It just appealed to me personally because it had fire on the doors. That was something that as soon as we were doing it, I really wanted to push. And then when we could do that, I was so happy. And it's got that SKU in general, it's got a few little Easter eggs. So for example, the registration plate on the F-150 Raptor. That's my granddad's initials and date of birth, because the Easter eggs you like to put in. The registration plate on the trailer is my initials and date of birth, and it's like little hints in there. But the hot rod is the one that always jumps out at me. The Senna, I really like the Senna, just because from a build experience that we really sat down with that one and tried to really challenge everything. So getting glass in the doors, getting transparent headlights, brick-built headlights and taillights. That was just every day, because it was a real team effort. Every day we were finding things where we were like, I've never used that element in that way before. So that was really exciting. And then probably the third one would be the classic Mini. It's the reception, and just when you look at it, you want to pick it up. It's just something I think myself and the team we're super proud of. So yeah, I think those three kind of always stick out in mind for me. So
I think also a lot of people are asked, and for me myself, the Mini is one of the greatest one, but also the green Porsche. I like the green one. So I like green, but okay. But a lot of really nice cars, I think, yes. And because one of the questions of my community was also, will there be cars in a larger scale? The answer is given. So there was also a question about if there will be cars, for example, the DTM, the German touring car, and other kinds of sports cars. Are there ideas about going in these areas?
What I would say is basically we're always trying to include new types of racing. So as I mentioned earlier, every car needs to be different and stand on its own and be different to the one next to it on the shelves. So for example, with the new assortment, as well as new partners, Nissan, Formula E, Jaguar and Lamborghini, we also try and include new types of racing. So Nissan, we've got drifting for the first time in Speed Champions. Formula E, obviously by itself, is brand new. We've got e-mobility with the Jaguar I-Paces and the electric racing. SUVs in general, and off-road racing with SUVs with the Urus. And then we've got the Super Trofeo with the Hurricane from Lamborghini. So we are trying to include new types of racing as time goes on. That's something that as we go on, we're definitely going to try and include as many new types of racing as we can. It just comes down to basically opportunities and timing. But that's definitely something that we want to keep pushing. There will always be supercars in our assortment. We started in 2015 with 3 supercars: the Holy Trinity, the LaFerrari, the P1, and the Spider. And what we've done is we've always tried to include some kind of supercar in our assortment, because that's our backbone. But there will always be race cars and different types of racing. So that is what makes Speed Champions Speed Champions. It's race vehicles. It's not just race supercars, it's race vehicles. So yeah.
So we will see, and I like the new scale, so I'm looking forward. Okay, thank you very much, very interesting, and as I said, I hope you had good Christmas and Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Okay, thank you very much.